Welcome to Revlog, where these three pastors try to stay in shape. So Aaron rode, 40 miles one day last week. How far did you ride that one day? The longest day?
The longest day was 40 miles.
40 miles. That's fantastic. So I ran 4 miles this morning.
I love where this is going.
Brian.
This is sad. The pandemic has just taken its toll.
Pandemic.
Yeah. Which we are now, we hope.
Well, hopefully we're on the other side of this pandemic. You staying in shape these days?
And one day,
At your age, Brian, you really need to take care of yourself.
one day, I hope to do that.
So you're a runner, right?
I used to be.
You used to be, yeah.
Yeah.
You working out?
I'm doing a little bit of that, but I have not hit the pavement. And
When Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile, what was that like? What was? I mean, it must have been an incredible time. That.
wow.
Well, physical health is a good thing. We'll move beyond physical health into the spiritual health.
There you go.
Thank you. I feel much better already. I aspire to be.
No,
as
but
the
let's
two
be
of
clear.
you.
He looks more in shape than he was.
That is true story.
I mean, we're giving him a hard time, but
Yeah. Brian is the aspirational goal.
he
for
doesn't
all
even
of
have
us.
to try.
I know.
And he looks in shape, so
Good living.
must be. Well, let's get to this text. Now,
Let's do it.
there's some interesting nuggets.
Yes.
And so we finish up our study on
Nuggets of gold.
I know silver.
We finish up.
Silver.
We don't want any silver nuggets around here. Just get that out.
That's right.
That's right. Or so Solomon said. But here we go. We're finishing up this study in 2 Chronicles. It's been a good study. I think it's given us a lot of insight into that time period,
Yeah.
the building of the first temple, which was good. We're grateful for that. As we come to wrap it up here, the last part of chapter 9. So, Aaron, what stuck out? And not the 666
Talents of gold.
Talents of gold.
Yeah.
So beyond that
You're
little
just gonna
tidbit.
You're just gonna ignore that.
Move right past that. This is something that I picked up on with Brian last week. We missed you.
I know. Yeah.
We
Sorry,
did,
I
Chris.
had to be
We
out
did.
last week.
We did the best we could.
Yeah. We endeavored to persevere, and here we are. But I pointed it out with the Queen of Sheba. Same kind of thing. She credited Solomon's wisdom to God, and here in the back half of chapter 9, it says men all over the world were amazed at the wisdom that Solomon had. That was a gift of God, and that is the bedrock. We know how this story continues and where the kingdom goes from here, and the split that is about to happen. But if you recognize, as we should, that the gifting of Solomon was a gift, obviously was from the Lord, and that he did nothing to earn it. He didn't deserve it. None of us deserve these incredible blessings and the mercy of God. But when we recognize what God has done, we're probably in better stead than just resting on the laurels and forgetting that we were brought here for a purpose.
Well, I think I appreciate you taking us back to the Queen of Sheba, because I think one of the things you recognize there is, one, she is sort of flabbergasted by all of the shiny things.
Yeah.
But she points to the wisdom.
Yeah.
Right? And I think it's very easy for us as we read through this to sort of be amazed at the value of gold, so much so that silver is practically worthless. But I think the message is here that wisdom of the Lord.
Yeah.
Right? And the
Absolutely.
value of the wisdom of the Lord.
And if anybody wants to drop off their worthless silver, my address is no.
VR, what did you hear as you read?
Well, this opulence is just overwhelming. It is. I too, like the Queen of Sheba, am flabbergasted when by all these shiny things, and the peacocks. I mean, and the baboons, and it's just amazing. I imagine those baboons just picking up silver and just throwing it, chunks of silver.
There's all kinds of levels to this.
It is. Just imagine with me, if you will. But it is near the end of this passage. We have, and let me say that that the Chronicles are a little kinder to
That's
Solomon,
right, correct.
or maybe a lot kinder actually than Kings.
Right.
The First and Second Kings, or Second Kings are. But near the end of this passage, we have all of the rest of the events of Solomon's reign are chronicled in these prior sources, which we would guess that the chronicler, whoever this person was, used to compile this historical record. And he mentions Iddo, the seer.
Right?
And Iddo the seer wrote about Jeroboam, son of Nebat, who arose to power and actually was the first ruler of the northern kingdom in the revolt against Solomon's son. And he was a servant of Solomon, Jeroboam was, and in fact became a little problematic, and he was banished to Egypt, Jeroboam was, and lived under the protection there. But he came back, and I don't know if, I don't know, it was sort of like a Saul, David kind of thing. Solomon helped Jeroboam rise through the ranks, and he became, a really star servant. And then he became this sort of threat, and so Solomon banished him. But I don't know if Iddo the seer was around during Solomon's reign. But my point is in all of this is that Solomon would have done well to pay attention to people who were looking at Jeroboam and looking around and seeing the cracks in this beautiful, resplendent kingdom. Solomon would have done well to put his ear, a little bit towards those folks who are writing these kinds of histories and see, Iddo the seer. Well, he obviously had some intuitive, kind of gifts, and what he was seeing was not a good future.
Yeah, the opulence blinds us to the cracks.
That's
right. It's
absolutely, and then so Solomon just sort of became famous for being famous, I guess, and famous
a Kardashian?
for his, like a Kardashian, exactly. At some point, we all become Kardashians. No, I don't know, but it was sort of like that. I
Well, and
guess.
when you look at Solomon and all that he had and all that was given to him, and then you think of Jesus and the rich man, just it's easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than and it's because the trappings are there, and
Right.
Solomon succumbed to the trappings.
Well, he did, and that's a problem because I've really tried to think, through the years, you think, how could this happen?
Right.
How could this happen?
Such an intimate relationship with God.
With God, he respected
right.
wisdom and
Right.
and the sort of the wisdom strain of thinking. I mean, he gathered and edited Proverbs, and he was a preserver of this kind of thing. And we have his name attached to the book of Proverbs, and all of that.
Yeah.
Where did this happen? And somehow he just became disconnected from people, maybe like Iddo or whoever, who could really, or Nathan,
Right.
those folks who could really reconnect him.
Yeah, well, and I think it's a reminder that temptation never leaves this side of eternity.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Even in his success and in his wisdom, there were specific trappings. And
I think that's
temptations
absolutely right. The idea that these characters, these patriarchs of the faith, are flawed, and they're cautionary tales for all of us. That we must be very careful.
We still see this happening today.
Absolutely.
People who rise to a level of fame, or a level of authority,
truly.
and they begin to fracture in their leadership.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, Aaron, what question came to mind as you read today?
So back to that, the fact that leaders and other people from around the world were astonished by wisdom that was given from God, that just doing the spiritual inventory, what has God blessed me with that I didn't deserve? Many things. But am I am I keeping that in check with my ego, with my pride, with
right.
my call, with my all those things to
Yeah.
recognize that I never get ahead of those things because like I said, it's cautionary tale. I mean, it could be so easy for me just to go, God blessed me to do whatever I want to.
Right.
And there's so many small diversions that can lead us to a path that of just ultimate destruction.
Amen. Yeah, exactly.
Believing your own
Press.
really,
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So, BR, what question came to mind for you?
Well, following Aaron, I would say, where are the fractures? Where are the cracks? Where is an indicator light that is going off that I may have dismissed?
Right.
Who are the people that I'm not listening to or simply dismissing as critics? What's going on there with those voices? Am I giving heed, or am I just dismissing those folks out of hand by saying, well, they're not, they're just they don't have my good in mind, or whatever. And maybe some people don't, but it doesn't matter. I mean, sometimes there can be a valid word
Yeah.
or idea out of the mouth of someone you don't consider to be part of your inner circle.
Well, I think that's part of it, getting to your point, one about not believing your own press, but also recognizing the cracks. I think that's one of the things that being a repentant people helps us see and better understand, right? When we're before the Lord in confession and repentance, it's easier for us to recognize those things and, ask the Lord for healing of those things.
That's right. The inventory,
Yeah, that's right. Well, we would love to hear your thoughts on this passage and on this study if you would comment below.